everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and today we're going to be doing a short set of acrylic nails. So of course the first thing that we did was we pushed back the cuticles, and right now I'm going in with a 180 sanding band to remove the shine from the natural nails. So first off, I do want to say that I understand that doing short nails is a little bit harder than doing long nails, and I believe that we all can agree on that. For a while it was really hard for me to do short nails, and it kind of still is. Like, I honestly prefer to do a long set of nails over a short set, just because they're so small and tedious that it gets kind of I guess I could say irritating. I guess maybe for some people it might be a lot easier, and probably, you know, there's people out there that enjoy doing short nails, but there's people like me that would rather do a long set. But you do have to make sure that when you're doing this, that you're very careful to, of course, not cut someone, because usually people that get shorter nails are people with smaller nail beds, like my friend here. So I have to make sure that I'm really careful compared to, you know, when I'm just doing someone with regular size nail beds. But anyways, once we remove the shine from the natural nail, I'm going to go in and apply the nail tips. Just like any other set, you want to make sure that when you're applying nail tips, you want to make sure that the nail tip fits from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want the tip being too big or too small, because if it's too big, the nail will lift, and then if it's too small, eventually it could crack or even lift as well. So like I always say, if one tip is too small and the other one is too big, always go with the one that's a little bit bigger, and just like I'm doing here, just follow it down on the sides just a little bit to make it fit perfectly. And also just a reminder that when you're applying nail tips, your tips are going to come in either a size 0 to 10 or 0 to 9. 0 being your biggest nail tip, which is usually your thumbs, and then a 9 or 10 will usually be your pinkies, and then the other numbers will be the other fingers in between. So after I finish applying the nail tips, I'm going to go in with my tip cutter, and I'm just going to trim the nails down to her desired length. Again, she do want them pretty short, so I'm just cutting the nails down. And then after we finish cutting them down, we're going to go ahead and measure them against each other. That way we know that they are all, you know, the correct size. After I measured the nails, I'm going to go in with a straight edge nail clipper, and I'm just going to trim down the sides of the nails just because we are going to be doing a coffin shape. So this is just going to save us time whenever we actually start filing the nails. After this, I'm going to be using a 100-100 nail file, and again, we're just going to be shaping them into a coffin shape. Remember that when we're doing a coffin shape, we're going to be alternating from side to side at a 45-degree angle, and then of course the free edge at a 90-degree angle. And also when you're doing really small nails, you want to make sure that you're really careful not to be too rough, just because I know my friend here, like, her skin is really sensitive. So since you are holding the file really close to the skin, you want to make sure that you don't cut them. So again, make sure that you're really careful when you're working with people with really small nail beds. So after we're done shaping the nails, we're going to go ahead and dust the nails off. And I'm going to be using my Mia Secret acrylic system as always in the color pink. And I'm also going to be using the Nail Supply Glamour AB Glitter Acrylic in the number 1. And as always, I'm using my OPI Bondex, which I'm only applying on the natural nail. Remember that when you're applying this primer or any primer, you want to make sure not to get it on the skin because it could burn them. After we finish applying the primer, we're going to go ahead and apply the acrylic. As always, I'm using my all-time favorite brush, which is in the number 10 by Alpha brush. And we're going to apply the acrylic. So as you can see here, instead of doing like the 4-bar method like I usually do, I place that bead closer to the cuticle area, brushing it down towards the tip, making sure that it's all nice and smooth. My next bead will be right below that one, and as you can see, I'm working with just a little bit of product at a time, just because that's really the key to doing short nails. If you work with too much product, your nails are going to be really thick and they're not going to be as cute. I know there's people out there that like thick nails, but especially with your client's nail being small, you don't want them to be super thick to where it's going to look like a bubble on top of their nail bed. So again, make sure that when you're doing short nails that you're not working with too much product. That way also you won't have as much filing to do at the end. So again, just place your beads, brushing them down towards the tip, cleaning around that cuticle area. just in case you get any product on there, because if not, you will get lifting. So same thing, we place that bit closer to the cuticle area, pat it down, brushing it down towards the tip, also cleaning up the sides, that way the acrylic does not take away from our shape. The second bead we place right below the first one, same thing, patting it down, brushing it down towards the tip. And just like any other set, you want to make sure that when you're working, you're looking at the nail from different angles to make sure that the nail is nice and even, and also that you have a nice apex as well. So we're doing the same process over and over again. Remember, it's really important to look at the nail really good, because you don't want to have any bumps and lumps on the nails, because then you're going to have a lot of filing to do at the end. And then also I am going to be skipping the pinky and the index finger, because I'm going to come back and do the glitter on those. Usually when I'm doing glitter, I try to do those at the end, because it gets pretty messy. It gets all in your brush, and then a lot of the time you get it on the other nails as well, even if you didn't want to. So after I finish doing this thumb, I'm going to switch over to the other hand, and we're going to do the same thing. The thumb, the ring finger, and the middle finger, and then we're going to leave the pinky and the index finger blank. Or yeah, I guess I could set blank, and then we're going to do the glitter at the end. So again, it's going to be the same process over and over again. Remember, the key to doing short nails is making sure that you don't add too much product, that you're working with a little bit at a time. That way you don't have super thick nails, because when I first was starting to do like short nails, that was my problem. The nails always ended up really thick, and that's what I ended up, basically coming to the conclusion was that I was just adding too much product. So make sure that you watch that when you're doing short nails. Alrighty, so for the pinky and the next finger, I'm going to do a really thin layer of the Mia Secret Pink acrylic. That way, if I want to file away the glitter the next time, I can. Afterwards, we're going to go ahead and apply the glitter on the nail. Remember that this acrylic already has, or this glitter already comes with acrylic. So all you have to do is just dip your brush into the liquid, into the glitter, and just place it on the nail. And then of course, just like any other glitter that you're doing on the nail, you want to make sure that you come back and encapsulate that glitter with the acrylic, because if not, you are going to file it off. So again, we just did a thin layer of the Mia Secret Pink acrylic, and then we're doing a layer of the glitter acrylic on the nail, and then afterwards we're coming back in and just encapsulating that with the acrylic. I'm going to be using the same Mia Secret Pink acrylic to encapsulate this, but of course if you want to use clear, that is totally fine. I just like to use my pink one as well because it's really translucent and you can't really tell. Alrighty, so after we finish applying the acrylic, we're going to go in with the same 100 nail file. and we're just going to be reshaping the nails. Remember that when we're doing this, we're literally just redefining that shape, getting rid of any of those rough edges that are left after we apply the acrylic. So same thing, we just follow the sides at a 45-degree angle and following the free edge at exactly a 90-degree angle to make sure that it's really straight. And then also making sure that when you're doing this, you're holding your client's nail super straight. That way the nail does not end up crooked. So once we're done reshaping the nails, we're going to go in with a fine drill bit, and this is a ceramic fine drill bit by McCart. I'll be sure to leave the link in the description. And as always, the first thing that we do is file around the cuticle area, starting from the right side, going over to the left side, just going back and forth until you're able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. That way you know that the acrylic is not on the skin. And also usually I start around the cuticle area because my nails are usually pretty smooth. Just because again I don't apply the acrylic super thick, and then I make sure that I'm really gentle when I brush down the acrylic. That way it's nice and smooth. So again, this is a fine drill bit by McCart. We are starting around the cuticle area, making sure that we seal that acrylic really good. And again, what I mean by that is just following around that cuticle area until you see where the natural nail is, where the cuticle is, and where the acrylic is. So it's really nice and simple, but this step is probably one of the hardest things to prevent. And also just a little reminder that lifting could also come from not prepping the nail correctly, from applying the wrong size tips, from not using the correct liquid to powder ratio, from not following around the cuticle area really good. So it could come from a number of things, but a lot of the time the lifting will come from not following around the cuticle area correctly. So you want to make sure that basically you just do like a process of elimination. You know, if you know for a fact that you're doing this step correctly, then you're just gonna have to basically check off and see like, okay, you know, I'm applying the right size tips. You know, I might not be prepping the nail correctly, so maybe that's what it is. So then you would spend a little bit more time on that part, and then if it's not that, then of course, you know, it's going to be something different. But the only way to learn or to prevent lifting is just by basically doing it over and over again until you get, you know, to the point where you're just not getting any lifting anymore. So once we're done filing the nails, we're going to go in with this buffer. And this is just going to get rid of any of the scratches left on the nails from the e-file or the hand file. Remember that this is one step that you also do not want to skip. If you were just to apply the polish over the nail once you filed the nails, you will be able to see all those scratches on the nail. So once you buff the nails, they're going to be really nice and smooth, and it's going to make the polish go on the nail perfectly. And after we finish buffing the nails, we're going to go ahead and just dust the nails off. And then, of course, you could have your client go wash their hands, or you can just wipe them off with an alcohol wipe, which is what I like to do. So I just finished wiping the nails off with an alcohol wipe, and now I'm going to go in with the OPI Bubble Bath Gel Polish, which is all of my clients' favorite color. And we're just going to be doing that on the ring finger, the middle finger, and the thumb. And then we're just going to leave the glitter nails like that, obviously. So we're going to go ahead and do this one coat, cure for 30 seconds. We're going to do the same thing on the other hand. And then we're going to come back and do a second coat on both hands. And the light that I'm using to cure the nails is my Abadi UV LED lamp. And I'll be sure to leave that link down in the description. So after we finish doing the 2 coats on both hands and curing them, I'm going to go in with my white nail art paint, and I'm going to go ahead and I just drew a line or two on the nail, and with my cleanup brush I dipped it into a little bit of acetone and wiped it off, and just dabbing those lines with the brush. That way the polish just spreads out, and then you want to just basically retrace those lines again, making sure that you don't do them, you know, too I don't even know how to say it. Just, you don't want to do them too thick. You literally just slightly draw those lines. They don't have to be straight or anything. Just wiggle the brush around. After that, we're going to go ahead and apply the IBD gel top coat on the rest of the nails. And then we're going to cure this hand for another, or actually for 60 seconds. So same thing on this hand. I just drew the lines with the white nail art paint, and then I'm going to dab them with the brush with acetone. Just spread the polish around. I'm going to go back in and retrace those lines again. I'm going to come back in and just really lightly just tapping those lines. That way, you know, it kind of gives us a shadow to work with. And then after that, we're going to come back and retrace the lines one more time, very slightly. And that's pretty much it. So then after that, we're going to go in and apply the top coat on this hand as well, and curing for 60 seconds. Alrighty, y'all, so here is the final look. They turned out really pretty. That glitter and that color looks so good together, and I just absolutely love them. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GetNailDirty2, and I'll see you guys next time.